Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, next generation of Baltimore sports talk. I am your endearing, starring host, Matt Sroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Sroka.
Hey, Matt, how's your week going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Pretty good.
It's pretty fun that every week we do this podcast now, like the Orioles make some type of move.
Yeah, they're very active.
Yeah.
If you thought that new ownership would mean that Mike Elias would not try to make all these under-the-radar deals, these cheap kind of moves, then you're mistaken, because Mike Elias is very active in the DFA pool.
I like to think that sometimes those are the only moves. Like there's nothing else available. Where it's not that he's trying to be cheap, but that's what's available.
Oh yeah. No, I think it's the best move. I think at this point it's just kind of looking for those depth pieces and hoping you maybe hit on a depth piece. But yeah, this is just icing on the cake because our team's good.
Yep.
Despite what Fangraphs.com might tell you.
Well, and despite the little hiccup we've hit on the road from last week to this week.
Josh, thought we'd be talking about fat pitchers.
Yeah, not rotation, too many.
Yeah, pitchers. Oh, hey, welcome back, everyone. Now, let me announce all the injuries.
Yeah. I would much rather be here talking about fat pitchers, beards, and I guess mustaches are popular now. So mustaches or
people growing their hair out. Yeah.
And I'd much rather talk for an hour about the new uniforms and how players are upset and fans are upset about the new uniforms.
Yeah, you and Bert can do a special episode.
I'd much rather talk about that rather than talk about injuries.
Yeah, I miss the days where no one came in injured because no one had lifted a finger all offseason except to pick up a beer. Now, all of a sudden, you have people probably playing really hard in the offseason, training, and coming in injured. Stop working so hard, pick up a beer, relax, come in fat, and then get in shape. And don't be injured.
I mean, do you think it's because of off-season workouts, or do you think it's that past generation of players just played through this crap?
Oh, no, I think it's working on the offseason. I mean, let's look at them. There's 4 injuries that were announced right when they came back.
All right.
First
off, before you announce them, I want to get your quick take.
I'm announcing it.
I announced it.
It hasn't been announced a week ago.
Yeah, everyone knows. Do you think the Orioles knew about this before these guys reported to camp?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I would be surprised if any of them were news to the Orioles because they announced it kind of on the first day of spring training.
Right.
So I assume they knew all of them.
Do you think any of this news had to be the reason for signing Corbin Burns?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what I think it's zero connection. What do you think? Specifically, Kyle Bradish.
I'd say Bradish. I mean, if they're concerned that Bradish might need Tommy John, that could be like, well, we got to get someone.
I mean, yeah, we certainly do. I mean, if we were in the same situation without Burns,
we'd be
it'd be a little bit of a disaster. It'd be a little bit of a freak out moment.
It would be.
Yeah.
So maybe you got that stuff, got Burns taken care of ahead of time. So now we're like, oh, it sucks. But all right, so go ahead, break down the injuries.
So you mentioned Kyle Bradish, and it's a UCL. This was a little bit of a debate here. Tear, partially torn. It's a UCL sprain.
Right. I feel like every time there's a UCL injury, they say it's a sprain or a tweak, or like they make up a new grade of the UCL to make it not sound so bad.
Yeah, I
And then I
remember.
never know if they truly just are hiding the truth.
Well, Felix Bautista, remember, he had a UCL partial tear,
Right.
and I was playing Dr. Matt over here, looking at all these scholarly articles about UCLA tears and
Where's the dish?
to see if you can play through them. And because that's what they were saying at first, can he pitch through a partial tear? Now, with Kyle Bradish, it's a UCL sprain, which presumably is less severe than a partial tear, because if it was just as severe, they wouldn't be even talking about bringing him back. They just shut him down for Tommy John surgery. But how severe in the sprain? Does it heal with rest, or will it require Tommy John surgery? All that is to be determined. So right now, out for a while, at least months, and with the potential for him to be out for the year. And the thing that sucks about injuries like this, Josh, is so then you wait, and let's say they wait 2 months, and let's say they even wait 3 months, and then just isn't getting better despite trying to get him back on the mound. And so then they do the surgery 3.5 months from now. So now all of a sudden he's 3.5 months even back further than he would have been if he just did the surgery right away. But they want him to pitch in 2024. The latest quotes are all positive, like he can do it, like he just needs rest, and so there seemed to be some optimism around Kyle Bradish, whereas with Felix Bautista it was more kind of wishful thinking, but no one was really optimistic. With Bradish, there seems to be a little bit of optimism that he can pitch again in 2024 and that he won't need surgery.
And Bradish has been doing soft toss, and he's been working out with the pitchers. He was doing whatever simulations, but instead of throwing to first base overhand, he was throwing underhand. So
yeah, I saw that video. That's hilarious and embarrassing and sad.
I don't know. I kind of feel like all pitchers should throw to first base underhand because I see so many stupid throws from pitchers to first base.
Oh man, I just went this last week. It was fun, Josh. I felt good. On Friday, I went to opening day. That was college baseball opening day. And I went to Mercer's opening day baseball game against Toledo, and it was a lot of fun. Just felt good to be out there in the stands again, watching a baseball game. And of course, it went to the 10th inning, and there was a little dinker back to the pitcher, and the first base and the pitcher picked it up and chucked it over the first baseman's head to allow the winning run to score. So we lost in extra innings. So
I've done it.
Yeah,
I've done it. I've picked it up and I've threw it into the ground 4 feet in front of the first baseman.
Yeah. These pitchers can pinpoint their fastball anywhere they want, but you ask them to soft toss to first, and you have no idea where the ball's going.
Exactly. That's why I'm fine with all under here. But you're right. I had Little League kickoff last week, and been in the batting cages a ton, and it's just awesome that baseball season's back here.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a long off season.
Yeah, like being able to like turn on and see pictures of the Orioles at spring training and out enjoying the weather and baseball myself. It's like a new year. Yeah, it's awesome.
Seeing Corbin Burns in an Orioles jersey, which still doesn't kind of feel real.
Yeah, Corbin and Adley hugging.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
That's good to see. And we can do a little bit of a Little League talk here at the end of the episode, Josh, because on Saturday I have evaluations to go to. I don't even know what that means.
Which means you got to get ready for the draft.
Yeah, I want to get some advice from you here at the end of the show.
For drafting little kids. All right.
Yeah.
We'll get to Little League at the end. Sounds
so
good.
Kyle Bradish was the first injury, UCL sprain. The next one was John Means, left elbow flare-up. And he's about a month, they said, behind schedule, so he couldn't return to the mound in April.
Now that one makes sense to me because remember they slowed him down in the postseason.
Is this still from that?
So my guess is that this is still that same injury. That because because he's a month behind. So my guess is that because of the postseason, he rested after that and then started his winter workout a month late, is what my guess is. Because if you figure his season would normally end the beginning of October, he gets October off, and then he can kick in November working out again.
Well, that's what happened.
Well, he ended, but he was hurt for that month, so he couldn't. So then he was hurt, recovered, had that month rest, then had to build up. Would be my guess. My guess is it's all from that same injury. It's not a new injury. It's a month behind from the postseason.
Okay, it sounds like to me he had a lot of time to rest last year and through the offseason. So,
all right. Yes, I get that.
Left elbow flare up. I don't know what it means. I hope it's not serious. people are talking like it's not serious. I don't know what left elbow flare up even means. I assume it doesn't mean like his elbow's flaring up and like it's twice the size of his other elbow. I don't think that's what's happening.
No,
I think it's just
I
a little
think it just
soreness.
means it's sore.
Yeah. The other injury that was announced right when spring training started was Gunnar Henderson oblique soreness. This to me is one of those injuries that screams working too hard in the offseason, and you heard it working out.
Yes. He was trying to lift more weights than he should be during the offseason, pushing hard and just a little sore. And again, no concern there. He'll be fine.
Zero concern. And listen, we don't want to lose Gunnar Henderson for any amount of time. But if you were to lose any kind of position on the team, infield is the position where we have a lot of depth. So you could withstand a short injury.
Yes, but you don't want to lose your rookie of the year.
I would rather have Gunnar Henderson, but I'm saying if he has to go away for a week, Jackson Holiday's sliding in, and I think we're okay.
Yes, but let's keep Gunnar. I mean, I feel like my oblique is sore just from walking around all day, so I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Well, you're not 22. Like
I also don't know what an oblique is. Is an oblique an arm or a leg?
No, it's your stomach, right?
I have no idea. It's your stomach.
I just assumed it was your stomach. Yeah, we should certainly know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
here.
We're just a pair of doctors. It is. No, that's about a right angle. A muscle near neither parallel or perpendicular to the long axis of a body or limb. I don't know what that means.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. Thanks, appreciate that.
That's just it's like I have a sore muscle.
Yeah, but this is gonna mean, I think this means kind of no missing of time. I assume he'll be there all for spring training. I don't think it's a big deal.
No, it's soreness from overextending a muscle.
I think it's your stomach from like stretching or like pulling your stomach.
And the straining of a person's non-dominant arm.
Okay, I know. I think you're wrong. I think anytime we'll hear a blink,
I'm reading medical news today. I think they know a little bit more than this. If someone throws with their right arm, then the side strain will occur on their left oblique.
Yes. Okay. So not the side, but like the side.
Yeah, the side. So it's like
the side. You're right-handed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right.
That's
we're doctors.
Yeah. We got to the bottom of it.
Yep.
I've had a sore oblique. I may or may not live with one every day.
All right. So no big deal.
Right. So it's no big deal. He'll be there for all spring training. I apologize, listeners, for that medical talk. Maybe we can edit out that beginning and just to the end where we explain what it is, and pretend like we didn't look it up. The other one, Samuel Basallo, his right. This is a right elbow stress fracture.
Yep.
To me, this screams overuse too. Like this is like a mid-season injury where you're throwing too much, and so you have stress on your elbow.
And again,
throwing too much on the off season to get the stress on the elbow.
Right. But again, no concern because we weren't going to see him this season.
Well, right. I mean, I guess maybe a little bit concerned is development. I mean, they're saying like maybe 6 weeks. This is another one, kind of like UCL, where less dangerous, but could lead to surgery if it doesn't get better and heal. So we just hope it gets better. It's a little disappointing because I was hoping to see him playing spring training. I guess there's a chance he could DH, but he just can't throw. And so, but we won't see him. We won't see him catching.
We won't see him at all, I don't think.
Right. Yeah, I think it's likely we won't see him at all. So that's it. Instead of seeing fat pitchers, we had those 4 injuries: Bradish, Means, Gunnar, Basallo. By far the most concerning is Bradish because coming off close to a Cy Young kind of worthy year, one of the best pitchers in the second half last year, and now this kind of messes with the rotation.
Yeah, and I think it's that rotation. The big takeaway from this is the rotation that we're going to start opening day without John Means and without Kyle Bradish in this rotation. And we go back to last week where we were like, well, DL Hall would never get a spot in this rotation anyway. He would have been nice to have now. Because now we're looking at
would have been making a run at the rotation.
Because now we're looking at Tyler Wells probably falls in here, and it's going to give a guy like Cole Irvin a chance to be back in this rotation.
Yeah, I think all right. So Josh, first of all, and we can break down the rotation. I'm curious to see.
Okay.
But is there
No question opening day starter now.
right for Mike Elias though? Is there now more pressure to either do a free agent signing or make another trade? Can we run with this starting five? And we even don't. I mean, John Means is a bit of a question mark, right? Coming off of an injury
Yes.
with a year, and now, like, we assume he's back and healthy, but there's a bit of a question mark there. So, I mean, this is a playoff built team. Are we good running with what we got, or if you're Mike Elias, do you feel pressure making another move?
This is not a all in. All that matters is this year type season, because this team's built for the long haul. So I'd say it's not, doesn't add any more pressure, I think. But I also think that when you look at all the free agent pitching that's still available, there's plenty of opportunities for the right deal. And I think that Mike Elias will be constantly checking in on those as spring training goes on, and there's still pitchers sitting out there that are free agents. I think he is still going to be listening, and I think he still makes some type of move. I don't think there's any added pressure though that would cause it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
I think he'd be looking at this to make these moves last week also if there were no injuries.
Right. I mean, Montgomery, Snell, Clevenger, Michael Lorenzen. If you want to throw your boy Trevor Bauer in there as well.
Right. And we're a week into pitchers and catchers, and there's still all these guys sitting out there.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know what these pitchers are doing. I assume there's offers out there. I assume you're just waiting for more money, for more years.
But at some point, this game of chicken's going to end, and these guys are all going to sign, I guess, 1-year deal, 2-year deals.
Well, I think that's the only way that Elias is even like listening, is if all of a sudden someone says, "Oh, 1 or 2-year deal."
Yeah,
because Elias doesn't. I don't think Elias wants to sign any of these guys. Aren't good enough, I think, to warrant for the Orioles.
No.
A long-term deal.
No, the Orioles are looking at long-term deals for Corbin Burns, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, and Jackson Holiday. They're not looking for anyone that's not a current Oriole to get a long-term.
And I would take any of those guys over Montgomery or Snell or anyone else you mentioned.
Yes, but like I was saying, as we wait longer and longer on these guys, those become, well, I'm going to take a 1-year deal and reset the market next year. Because I think maybe we all thought that this Ohtani signing was going to open up the floodgates, and I think what it did instead is make all these pitchers think they can get a ton of money. And I think there's more either pitchers or agents just expecting a lot more money now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's like what we talked about. I wonder how many teams are kind of feeling what we're feeling, where we want kind of elite talent or we don't want anybody.
Right. These are middle of the road guys.
Yeah. Blake Snell, I mean, freaking Cy Young Award winner, but he has his flaws. He gets injured a good amount and he has a hard time pitching past the 5th inning. And that's like, it's hard to call someone an ace when he can't get into the 6th and 7th inning consistently. Right. So that's a big flaw. And Jordan Montgomery, again, in terms of injuries and amount of innings thrown, like there's some concerns there. Had a good year last year, but can he build off it? Some inconsistency in his past. So they're not slam dunk pitchers. So that's what I'm saying.
No. Are you in the same mindset of me that you see Mike Elias signing one of these guys?
I think I would put it as 2% chance.
Okay, so you're saying we're not signing anyone.
No, I'm saying Buck Showalter, I like our guys.
If we make a move, it's more cash consideration like the guys we did this week.
Yes, I think we might continue to do that, but I don't anticipate us, because these pitchers are so flawed, and I think because of, you can argue what we got is as good as what's out there, maybe outside of Snell and Montgomery, but I don't think we want to pay for Snell or Montgomery. And if we do, it's going to be a 1-year deal. And I just still think that Montgomery and Snell will hold out for a multi-year deal. So I just don't think it makes sense.
Yeah, but I think I texted you earlier this week. I think that Michael Lorenzen, I think that's the guy. Former Tiger, and he's out there. He's low 30s. I can't see him. He hasn't proven enough to get a long-term deal, I don't think. So I don't know why we wouldn't be able to work out a 1-2 year deal with him.
Yeah. Let's see. According to Fangraphs, his projected deal was by Fangraphs writers was 2 years, $20 million. So that is in line with what the Orioles.
Yeah, that's an Oriole. That's what I'm saying. That's an Orioles
do.
style deal.
Yeah,
I could see them doing that. I could see them doing that with a second-year option. Hey, we only want you for 1 year, and then give you an option for the second.
yeah,
I could
that's
see something
fine.
like
I mean, if you want to roll with him as plug him in as
That's-
your 4th or 5th starter, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's the guy I'd look at. Former Red, former Tiger. I think he had like a 3 ERA last year with the Tigers. So
Well, he was the guy that was. Oh, see, now I'm going to mess this up. Wasn't he the guy traded to? Wasn't he traded to the Phillies last year? Or am I making that up?
Let's see. I know
And
he
then he
was.
pitched a no-hitter in his first start. Or that's somebody else.
Yes, that is him. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. He traded the Phillies through that no hitter. So anyone that throws a no hitter means you got a little bit of stuff.
Right. All right. So, but if we don't assuming we roll with what we got, we know Corbin Burns is going to be our opening day starter.
Yes.
We know Grayson Rodriguez will be our second day starter.
Correct.
Our Saturday starter.
Right.
And then we know.
Dean Kramer.
Am I missing someone? Dean Kramer.
That's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, because no one, because it was John Means and Kyle Bradish, and they're both out now. So we're going to throw Tyler Wells in there.
Okay.
And then that 5th slot is
Cole Irvin, Bruce Zimmerman,
Keegan Aiken. I mean, what washed-up starter do you want to put in there?
Yeah.
I think it's Cole Irvin's slot to lose, I would think.
Yeah, and there are. I mean,
but I guess
if you look at the first kind of this is how it always is. There's a lot of off days that first couple of weeks, so you could roll with 4 starters if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but then you're putting because you have that off day on Friday, so Burns could easily pitch on after 5 days and come in. Yeah, you're right, because then we've got the following Thursdays off, so we could roll with 4, and then we got. Yeah, in the first month of baseball, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days off. If you add 2 more weeks to that, there's 6 days off. So we could definitely run 4-man.
Right.
That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, if you wanted to open the season up.
You could definitely do that. You could go with 4-man. But I think you're going to – the other thing that works out in the Orioles' favor is that first month is pretty weak. And when you look at the teams you're facing, the Angels – the Royals, the Pirates, the Red Sox, the Brewers, the Twins, the Royals, the Angels, the Athletics. Who scares you in that bunch?
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
No one.
Right.
So that helps as well.
Yeah. I mean, so this is going to be an interesting spring training, more than I thought. Like, I didn't think Cole Irvin and Bruce Zimmerman would be in the discussion. But then all of a sudden, 2 guys are out to start the season, and they all of a sudden get into that discussion real quick. And so so those are the 2 guys to watch. Anybody outside of that, you're going to have to go add someone to your 40-man from the minors if you want to explore that, like a Chase McDermott kind of guy. But I think that's unlikely because from everything Mike Elias says, he needs more time in AAA. And so I think it's going to be – I would expect it to be Tyler Wells and Cole Irvin as your swing man if you need him to be your 5th starter. He can plug in and do that as well.
Now what sucks is that then hurts our bullpen because Wells we saw as a back end or long relief guy, and Irvin was definitely a long relief guy. So you're going to have to make that up. But at the same time, you've got a rotation that hopefully doesn't rely on the bullpen as much.
Yeah, I do wonder, Josh, if getting a starter is too cost prohibitive, especially if you expect John Means back and Kyle Bradish back, that maybe the recent moves Mike Elias has been doing to say, okay, I'm not going to spend money on a starter, but let me get a bunch of weapons in my bullpen to kind of take that approach. So I know I'm going to need more bullpen work, especially when I'm rocking Cole Irvin and Tyler Wells for the first kind of month of season. So let me get more bullpen arms out there, give me more bullets in that on that side of things.
And we did have some bullets that kind of hung out at Norfolk, like a Zimmerman and Vespi that did not spend much time up in the majors that could come up this year and spend a little more time that first month up top.
Yeah, and listen, last year we weren't expecting Yanni Cano to be our second best reliever in the bullpen. So I still think it's very possible that there's a dude out here no one's talking about that's gonna, come in and be a big contributor, whether as a starter, more likely as a bullpen arm. So that's something to watch for as well.
The Orioles made 2 cash consideration moves this week.
Yes.
Ort and Crook.
Yes.
Are either of these are what you're calling bullpen depth? Are
Yeah.
you excited
Have you
about
looked at
either of
any of
these
their
moves?
numbers, Josh?
I glanced at it a little bit. I mean, one's a lefty, one's a righty.
Yes.
They're both. I found it interesting that the one came from the Yankees. The guy from the Yankees, who was that? That was Crook. His numbers looked pretty good. I was pretty impressed with him, especially since he was coming from the AL East, and I guess even Ort was a Red Sox. So they're both. I found it interesting that we were pulling guys from our own division.
Yeah. Crook, I mean, he had a really good year at AAA last year. He's interesting because he was a starter. Then last year they switched into a bullpen arm. And how about this, Josh? Strikeouts per 9 innings as a reliever at AAA for Crook. Did you see this stat?
No.
Josh, listen to this. 14 and a half strikeouts per 9 innings for Crook. Yes.
All right, so that's telling me he's a late inning guy.
Wait, Josh.
All right.
Next stat.
All right.
Walks per 9 inning.
Oh, no. 22.
And this is through a whole AAA season.
Is this Tanner Scott material here?
6.88.
All right.
So almost an inning
a
guy.
So almost an inning guy. All right.
Guy.
So that's not good.
No, this is I was gonna say Fujinami territory.
Yeah. This is the guy you send out there. He's either going to be lights out or loading up the bases.
But here's what the crazy thing about it is, Josh. All right, so 14 and a half strikeouts.
And you got me all excited with the strikeouts, and then you had to bring that out. 7
walks per 9 innings. I don't even need to tell you, Josh. How if I said his miles per hour and his fastball, knowing that strikes out everybody and walks everybody, what's his fastball, you think?
99.
88 miles per hour. I don't know what this guy is doing.
What is this?
I don't know what's going on, but he's an interesting guy because I did some research on him because I was just so interested in his strikeout numbers, and I looked at kind of his he's got 4 pitches, goes a fastball, sinker, fastball 88, sinker might hit 89.
All right, so the sinker must be pretty good. That must be a strikeout pitch.
Yeah, so has a slider. But he was drafted in the first round by Miami, then went back to college, didn't go, went back to college, went to Oregon, then was drafted in the 4th round. And then he's pitched for the Giants, pitched for the Rays, mostly as a starter, and pitched for the Yankees. And the Yankees switched him up to being a bullpen guy. He's no spring chicken, though, right? He's 29 years old, so he's been around for a while. Has only had a cup of coffee in the majors, mostly just a career minor leaguer. Had a cup of coffee in the majors last year.
Okay.
And walked. Here's a good walk rate in his. It's only 4 games, so it's not fair to pick on him. But he had 13 and a half walks per 9 innings in his 4 games. So that's not good. So I think it's going to be a test of can the Orioles fix his control issues, and if so, it seems like be a really good addition. But I think that's to be determined there.
Yeah, that's definitely a to be determined. I think, but I'm okay with that. I was looking. It's the Ort guy that we signed today that's got that 99 fastball.
Yeah, and the Ort guy's interesting. He's older. He's 32.
Yeah.
Something I noticed about him that stuck out to me is he's like a fringe guy where a lot of people like him, but not enough to keep him. So like since here's his little latest transactions since this offseason. So in October 13th, so right at the beginning of the offseason, Seattle Mariners claimed him from the Boston Red Sox. Then December 1st, Miami Marlins claimed him from the Seattle Mariners. Then February 13th, this is all this offseason, Philadelphia Phillies claimed him off the waivers from Miami. and now we got him from the Phillies. So he's already been this offseason. He started with the Red Sox, then the Mariners, then Miami, then Phillies. This is his 5th team in this one offseason, which shows other teams want him. They value his stuff, but also he's kind of the first to go when they need to open up a roster spot.
Right.
The other thing that's kind of interesting, if you look at, I think both these transactions, Josh, with Ort and Crook, is they weren't straight DFA pickups. They were both trades for cash considerations. And so it seems to me that the Orioles valued them, both these players, Crook and Ort. They thought maybe if they passed through waivers, the Orioles, because their record, they would kind of get last dibs on Ort and Crook, and they wanted to make sure that they get them.
Gotcha.
So they offered cash considerations instead of waiting for them to go kind of get to them, because I guess they didn't think they would get them.
Yep.
To them, and they valued the arms of Ort and Crook.
No, that makes a lot of sense. These were waiver wire guys that they threw some cash at so they'd get before they hit waivers.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, I like that. They both sound a lot like that Brian Baker type pitcher, where it's like, when you're good, you're good, but if you're not, you're not. And you see the potential, you see flashes, but let's just hope they don't load the bases in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope maybe they're not in a position to have to be that guy in the playoffs, because you have other guys.
Yes.
But yeah, I think this is, again, it's going to be curious to watch them. I mean, Ort has the same issues with walks. He walks a bunch of guys.
Right.
So I think both of them have good stuff, but good strikeout stuff, but lack control. So I think it's something going to be interesting to watch.
It means there's an opportunity, and hey, we've got some new pitching coaches, so let's see how they do.
Yeah, like I think we pride ourselves on our pitching development.
Yes.
We see this with
which is weird to say out loud, but yes.
Yeah, and here are 2 veterans, and can we fix them? Though, I mean, you have cases where I think we fixed them, like Bautista and Cano. You've also have cases where it hasn't worked out as well as you wanted, like a Fujinami, to be honest. So,
well, there might have been a little language barrier there.
Well, and also, I mean, we got Fujinami at the trade deadline.
Late, yes.
Yeah, here we have a whole spring training to work with them.
But it's
I hope we have a chance. I don't know what their ops situation is, but I hope both these guys have a chance to play at AAA maybe, and then get the call up if needed.
Right. Of course, we might need them beginning of the season to fill up this bullpen.
Right, given some of the pitching injuries. Sure, that's possible.
Right. Now, I guess there's always, every year, there's players that have success and players that don't. I mean, Cole Irvin was a disappointment last year. You're always going to have that. The question is, do you have more good than bad things that happen to your team?
Right. I think the argument that Fangraphs.com is making in their MLB playoff projections, which, by the way, if you pay attention to it, and a lot of people do this, but Fangraphs is kind of a famous one, so I'll call them out. They have the Orioles projected to have 84 wins.
Yes.
Finished 3rd in the division, a 52% chance, so a 50-50 chance of making the playoffs. I think all those numbers are extremely low.
Yeah, I am ready to put a good amount of money bet on the Orioles with those numbers.
Yeah, I don't know what the Vegas win total is for the Orioles. I don't know if I assume they have established win totals.
Yeah, I just don't know what's
currently. And I bet the injury Cobb Bradish maybe hurt that a win or two.
Yes.
But they're assuming, right, that Cobb Bradish, well, now with the injury, that he couldn't pitch as well. I think they're assuming that Dean Kramer takes a step back. I mean, because think about it. We won 101 games. We're going to add the top prospect in baseball and add an ace, and you're saying we're going to lose, 17 more games? It doesn't really add up. But I think what the argument is they're making is Ryan O'Hearn can't play as well as he did last year. Other players will take a step back, and Austin Hayes might take a step back. Some of your pitchers, Yadier Cano can't pitch like he did last year. We don't have Felix Bautista. That's a huge injury or a huge loss in that bullpen. So, I think I mean this is what makes baseball so fun and such a great sport is, I mean, the NBA, you can pencil in who's going to make the finals after the first week of the season. You really can't as much in baseball. It's not quite as wild as football, where you really have no idea. Something like the Texans kind of nowhere. It's harder for that to happen in baseball. But still, you have so many individual players that make up a team and are so inconsistent from year to year. Also, by the way, which makes Corbin Burns so special, because he's been so consistent his whole major career. That's what makes Corbin Burns an ace. It makes Kyle Bradish kind of hopeful to be an ace. Is Kyle Bradish doesn't have the same consistency, or no one in our team has the same consistency as Corbin Burns. So yeah, and I think when you have, especially with the Orioles, you have so many young players, there's more chance for up and down, right? Because they don't have the track record,
Right.
and I think that's part of the reason why you get some of these projections.
Yeah, I was listening to the Baseball Tonight podcast today.
Okay.
And Buster Olney has the Orioles, and he's projecting the Orioles at 95 wins, which I found very interesting. That's more of in line how I feel about the Orioles.
Yeah.
Is those mid-90s, and it's very interesting for me to see someone like a national reporter go that far off of Fangraphs.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting.
Yeah, I think Fangraphs, if you just look at the numbers, I mean, they have the Yankees win the division at 88 wins. So I think they don't have anyone over 100 wins, for example. So I think they kind of push back towards kind of closer to the 500 record, right? Like they put everyone kind of around there. And the best team projected to have the best record is the Braves at 98 wins. But no one in the American League, for example, only the Astros is projected to get over 90 wins in the whole American League. So they just kind of skew more to the averages.
I was checking Hard Rock and I checked my bookie, and you can currently not bet on the number of wins for the Orioles. They have it taken down, probably because of the Kyle Bradish and John Means injuries.
Oh, you can bet on other teams, but not on the Orioles?
Yes, you can bet on most teams. Most teams are there. The Orioles are not currently listed.
Oh, interesting. All right. Yeah, maybe due to the injuries.
But, I mean, it's still, 3 weeks until we give our predictions?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got an email from the Orioles saying it was, 39 days to opening day?
Yeah.
Did you get the email?
Yeah, did you book your flight yet?
No, I have my flight Google alerts on for the cheapest flight.
All right.
So they'll notify me when the flight gets any cheaper.
Yep, I'm going to book mine this week. I've been looking at it. I just haven't decided if the whole family's coming back or not. That's what I'm trying to work out.
Okay.
Because they might all come up with me.
All right.
But, the best part of spring training so far has been just seeing Jackson Holiday out there, right? Like, is there any other positives or anything that's been exciting besides just seeing the players? And, I mean, Jackson Holiday says all the right things. He's out there. He looks good. He seems like a veteran.
Yeah, he's going to be. I think he's going to be playing around the infield. I think going to give him some time at second, short, and third.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to watch those kind of infield positions.
Did you see?
I don't know, when do games start? I'm excited to see some actual.
February.
Because Masson, but excited to
the first
get the
game.
box scores.
The first game on Masson is on Saturday at 1:00.
Oh, as in this Saturday?
This Saturday, which I believe I guess that's the opening day. So yeah, Saturday at 1:00 is the first spring training game, and that game I saw is on Masson. Masson has doubled the amount of games they will be showing on TV this year to a total of 7.
But I heard the announcers will still be in Baltimore.
Yes. Because apparently John Angelos still makes decisions.
Yeah. What the deal hasn't been finalized yet, right? With Rubenstein.
Right. I guess Spirit Airlines doesn't fly to Sarasota.
Yeah. To get that $70 deal. That's what I'm looking for right now. Round trip $70.
Right. So
all right.
But and I assume we'll see Jackson Holiday in the lineup. Did you see that they said Ryan O'Hearn is going to be getting some time in the outfield?
I did see that. Some corner outfield positions.
Yeah. So last week we talked about Mateo's going to get some time at center, O'Hearn in the outfield. I assume this is twofold. It's one, to get these bats in the lineup somehow, when we have a stacked infield. And it's got to be also that outfield depth was a weakness last year. Right?
Yeah, maybe. We talked about it last week a little bit, but also I think on a practical standpoint, looking at platoons, lefty, righty, Kerstedt, Stowers, Mullins are all lefties. And so maybe against a lefty, when you're trying to get more right-handed hitters in there, and you have Mountcastle playing first as a righty,
right?
If you can get, O'Hearn in the outfield as another righty against a lefty, and then you got Hayes and I don't know if you can do a Santander, Hayes, O'Hearn outfield. I don't know if that works, but just another possibility for your left-handed pitching in your lineup. And listen, I think they like O'Hearn's bat.
Right.
I'm interested to see how O'Hearn plays this year because O'Hearn had a breakout year last year. Sometimes those are 1-year wonders, right? Like it's possible he kind of regresses and goes back to what he was before last year. He just had a really hot year. And if so, I don't think he's going to have a super long leash. But maybe this, like Mateo, as you get all these young players coming up, young players are going to be fighting for playing time. And so maybe this is another, like Mateo's trying to extend his time with the Orioles by being more flexible and playing center. I think maybe the same deal with O'Hearn as you get more young, talented players coming in here. If you want to stay on this roster, you got to be flexible and play multiple positions as needed. Or it could not work out and he could not be good at right field and it could just be an experiment and say, okay, we're not doing this.
Right. It could be a failure. That's true. But I don't know what my point was there.
Yeah. But no, I would say it's only as Hyde's trying to think about this lineup versus left-handed pitchers. I think that's the main motivation there.
Okay. I'm good with that. I know how much Hyde likes that left righty. So I'm good with that.
He is big in the platoon
setup. Yep.
All right.
So
all right, you want to get to some Little League talk here to close out the show? Because
sure. So you've got evaluations on Saturday. I've already been through evaluations. I've been through my draft. I am 2 weeks I've already got 2 weeks of practices down. I was telling you after the show that there's this new place, D-Bats, that just opened up here, and I was there like 4 times last week, working out with Owen and working on some hitting and stuff, and saw a big difference already. So my team's in full fling, but you've got evaluation Saturday. You prepared for this?
No, I have no idea. I was just told I have evaluations and I'll be evaluating players. I don't even know what that means really.
All right. So here's how the evaluations work for me. They give you an app. Have they told you about an app?
No. They said they would give me some sort of evaluation form.
All right.
But I don't know what that means.
So
we're a little behind what Florida does, I think.
All right. So here's how evaluations work for me.
Okay.
Is the kids all show up and they get 3 balls hit to them in the infield, 3 fly balls hit to them, and then they get to like swing at 3 pitches. That's it. And yes.
Oh my.
And in my app, I have a 1 through 5 scale for infield, outfield, batting. And when they field the ball and try to throw it to first base or throw it in, and I have to go in there and I rate them 1 through 5.
Do you see access to any of their info in terms of
nothing?
Like their age, at least? You see their age?
Well, it's 10U, so they're all around 9 or 10.
Okay, but see, like my question is, I'm coaching 8U.
Yes,
but we have 6U, 8U, 10U, so it's every 2 years.
So here's what I advise you, and this is where it gets.
My son is 6, by the way,
right?
Playing in 8U, so he's going to be there a couple years.
All right, so that's good. That's good. So here's what I do. I also keep a piece of paper in my pocket and a pen, and I go there and I do the little slider 1 through 5 in my phone. And then if a kid really stands out to me, I jot his name down on the piece of paper.
And then you go talk to his mom to try to get in good, to make sure.
Right. Pass some dollars, buy him a car. You know how it goes.
NIL. I've been paying attention.
Right. So anyway, the reason I write down those names is because when you grade all those scores, what it does is it takes your score and all the other coaches' scores, and it compiles that into a score for the kid. And then you'll for draft, you'll get a list of all the kids and their grade score next to it.
That's
It's
a
like
combined that of all
it's
the
a
coaches
combined
put in.
score that looks like a GPA
Right.
grade.
Do kids get to see their GPA?
No. No.
I bet some kids would really like to know their GPA.
Oh yeah. Owen asks me all the time how he rates among other people, and I don't share it. I won't share it because of two things. One, it's silly. I don't want a kid to be grading his GPA versus other kids. But two, you get 3 balls. Like, how can you really judge a kid on 3 balls?
Yeah, and there's and what it's 3 balls to hit, 3 balls in the infield, and 3 balls in the outfield.
Yes.
Yeah, like there's other like I'm surprised there's no because I would think, especially at that age, Josh, one of the biggest factors would be speed.
I want to do a whole combine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring the bench press out there.
I want the bench press. I want the high jump. I want to see how far you can throw the ball. I want to sit down and interview you and find out if you have an imaginary girlfriend. I want to go through all that.
Personal interviews. Yeah, but Josh, I would think with especially with your league, it's different from me for coach pitch.
Yeah.
But your league with all the stealing, I would just want to get the fastest players that are out there.
With my league, with 10U, there's a lot of base running. So we have been really focused on base running in practices this year. And I'll tell you, when I got COVID. I don't think we had talked on it. I got COVID for the 3rd time a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And because of that,
George, everyone I know has COVID, I feel like right now. It's making its rounds.
Yeah. Anyway, I missed the draft because of COVID. So I had to send my scouting notes to my assistant coach and have him go and do the draft for me, which felt even worse because I had comments about kids that were in my head that I had to then put down on paper. So I sent these notes to my coach, and it was like, do not draft these 5 kids. And then it would be like, this kid's name, I don't want to deal with his parents. This kid's name, his parents make him cry. This kid's really annoying. I don't want him on my team. This kid doesn't pay attention. I don't want him on my team. Yeah. So I felt bad about those. So I sent those
But
notes.
That's from your coaching experience. You couldn't tell that from evaluations.
No. Evaluations, I don't care. Yes, I evaluate and took the scores. But when I went drafting, because this is my 3rd season as a head coach in this league, most of my draft notes came from remembering the kids from previous seasons. Like I said, hey, this kid, it was on the Braves the past 2 seasons. He crushes the ball. I want him on my team. Right. So I marked him to be drafted. I marked this other kid. I said, this kid's a really good pitcher and he's really fast. And I said, I want him on my team, even though his family doesn't speak English, get him on my team. That's when I really felt like a baseball player, a baseball GM.
Yeah. So I would imagine, if there's any players or parents who don't speak English, I want them on my team because I'm like, I've seen what's happened with the majors.
Exactly.
They play baseball.
So a lot of my draft notes were not based on that grade score. It was based on remembering these kids, because I also would you play these teams 2-3 times during the season. So I remember Bryson's on the Braves. He's a good first baseman. This kid's a pitcher on the Padres. I want him. So I made some notes about some kids like that I remembered. And then I draft kids that I liked previously. Like I've got 5 kids that I have had last year. And I've got 4, actually all 5 of them I might have now had. This might be my 3rd season with them where I'm their head coach. And I like that because you get to see the development. Where they were when I started coaching in them to where they are now is a huge progression.
No, I agree, Josh. And that's why I was asking. I mean, because when I played Little League, it was the same type of situations. I don't remember the evaluations, but I know coaches drafted because I played for Coach Wakefield every year of my Little League life because Coach Wakefield would always draft me.
Yeah. But did you ever realize that, like as a kid, do you ever think about that you were drafted?
I did. Well, until I got a little bit older, where Coach Wakefield said pretty explicitly, "You're always going to be in my team." I was like, all right.
Because
and that's when I started to figure out, okay.
It's weird to go and sit around with other grown men and pick kids.
Yeah, especially I'm talking about 8U.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Whatever. Just split the kids up.
Right.
Who cares? What are we even talking about here? But I guess maybe that you could potentially, if you do it randomly, get some powerhouse teams or something. I assume it's done for parity among the teams, but maybe I'm being too nice.
The draft.
too naive. Yeah.
It's done. It's done. I think it's done for parody. I think the evaluations are to try to get some parody, but I think it's really done so you can kind of have your same. I think it's for the coaches. I think it's so I can have the kids that I want back, so that I can continue to develop with my kids.
Right. And so this is my question, Josh. Since he's going to be here a couple years at this level, this year, next year, but you're not drafting a dynasty team. Like if I had my druthers, I would draft all 6 and early 7-year-olds that I knew would be back next year, so I could have the same team for 2 years.
But you're at a tricky spot because you don't know if they'll be back.
What do you mean?
Like at that age, they're playing because their parents signed them up, not because they love baseball.
Sure, but it would be cool to have the same set of 12 players, but they're going to be all open to the draft next year again. So someone else could take my guys.
Correct, but that's where the coaches kind of respect each other, because they all you're going to try to draft I draft my guys first. Like my first 4 picks are guys I've had before, and just like the other coaches, their first 4 picks. But then you expect some people are going to be stolen. You just you know it. So
do you have to draft Owen, or is that an automatic?
No, Owen's an automatic.
You don't have to spend a draft spot on him.
No, I automatically get my my son and my assistant son. I automatically get them.
Okay, so it's good if your assistant son's a good player.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that the case with you?
He's fine. He's good.
He's
good.
Josh going through the calculation. Is the assistant coach? Is there a chance he could be listening to this podcast?
Yeah, exactly. There's always a chance, and I don't know. I'm not far enough into the season to know what parents have figured this out yet, and especially the assistant coach. This is my 3rd season with him as my assistant coach.
Yeah.
So yeah, he could definitely be listening to this. No, he's a good kid. I like him. I like him on my team. He's very flexible. I can put him anywhere in the field, and I can even put him into pitch as needed. So he's a good kid.
All right. Well, I'll tell you about it next week. I mean, I'm going to go to the evaluations. My goal is to get the best freaking players possible to win as many games. But Josh, I will. I'll say this too, and my goal is to get the best possible team to win as many games. But in light of coaching, knowing that I'm going to be doing this and knowing that I'm moving up from T-ball to coach.
You're sucked in now.
Well, I started following. Josh, do you follow any coaching Facebook groups?
TikTok.
Okay. Yeah, I do some on TikTok.
I use
just
TikTok.
The algorithm does it for me.
My TikTok is all Little League coaching. And I don't think I'm in any Facebook groups, but I've got a bunch of coaching TikToks I like.
Okay, because I started following a couple of Facebook groups, and I gotta be careful now because I'm starting to judge what I'm a part of now, and I know I'm a part of this now.
Oh,
but it's like people posting videos of their 7-year-old kid, literally their 7-year-old kid taking ground ball infield and throwing to first, asking for feedback on him picking up the ball, a ground ball, and throwing to first. Right. And there's 70 comments critiquing how the 7-year-old picked up the ball and threw it to first base. And I'm like, I can't handle this. I can't handle this.
I have a bunch of coaches I follow on TikTok, and they are coaches for older kids. So I'm not looking at Little League coaches. Okay. I'm looking at things that can help you in baseball at any level. Yeah. It's I follow, I know one is Coach Rack, who's a guy that plays on the Bananas, and he gives a lot of good tips for hitting. So I've been watching him, and
but that's what I mean. And maybe I'm just found them on Facebook group, but they're all like this. They're all either swings or just videos of their kids or players swinging or fielding really young and asking people just to tear it up. And it's and maybe I'm a part of this process now, so I can't criticize it because I'm inside it, but it just seems a bit much.
It reminds me of the kid that I won't draft on my team anymore because his parents made him cry at every game because the parents took it way too serious, thinking he's going to be a MLB left starter. Now he's a left-handed pitcher, so if he becomes that way, then good way to go. I will be telling everyone that I coached Lucas.
Sure.
But until then, I can't have his parents causing him to cry during the game, and I have to console him.
Well, and maybe I'm completely off on this. But I mean, and Silas has been invited to play travel ball, and I've not doing it. And I feel like people think to get your kids to play like professional baseball or at the highest level, you need to like do all this, critique
No.
his infield at 7 years old.
No.
You need to put him in travel ball. My stance is like talent. Like if you put Jackson Holliday, for example, it didn't matter what advice he got when he was 8 about his infield positioning, right? The guy just had freaking talent, and
Well, it's
that would emerge. And as you get older, you can critique that stuff, but
no, it's
as a
beyond
kid,
that.
yeah, it's
At
not helping them get to the majors.
No, at 10 and under, what I'm coaching now, I am taking it more serious. This season, I'm teaching some different things like science and stuff, which is
Yeah,
new
and that makes sense as they get older.
as they get older. But at this age, the most important thing that you can teach these kids at this age and younger is to love the game of baseball. Because it doesn't matter how talented they are, if they don't love baseball, then they're not getting anywhere. If you're
Yeah.
making your kid cry at 9 years old because he's struggling on the mound, he will never be a major league pitcher.
Right,
Because he's
they'll
going
burn
to
out.
quit. He's going to
Yeah.
quit.
And I guess here's where we disagree a little bit, Josh, and your philosophy on fun. Where me, I don't ever remember in Little League coaches emphasizing loving the game and having fun. Because for me, and still now, like playing the game is the fun.
Yes.
Practice, taking balls at third base for practice
It's fun.
is fun. You don't need
Yes.
to add kickball to it. You don't need to add dodgeball.
No, but
You just let me play the game, and
Yes.
that is the fun.
yes, but this is the age where you're transitioning into kids that are playing because their parents sign them up versus playing because they love the game. And honestly, the way I make sure that to remind kids always that it's fun is that the last 30 minutes of every practice, we just do a scrimmage because then you're playing the game.
Right, and the playing is the fun.
The playing's the fun. Yeah.
I mean, I always thought, and maybe I'm crazier, I thought even taking fly balls was fun. Playing catch to start the game.
I'll tell you, I got
all
a new tool this year. And
Okay, I would because my Facebook is also full of every freaking hitting, throwing device known to man. I own none of them, but I always click on them, and I'm thinking, crap. Every time I click on them, I know I'm going to see 20 more of these.
Yep.
What am I doing to myself?
I am tempted to buy so much stuff. I did buy one this year.
Okay, I'm curious to see.
You know,
I want you to buy these devices, try them out, and let me know.
All right, you know the Fungo bat.
Yeah.
You know, which is just a short bat for hitting fly balls and line drives.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you? I'm sure then you've gotten ads for the Fungo racket.
Oh no, I haven't actually seen the Fungo racket.
All right, the Fungo racket is like a tennis racket, but you use it instead of a Fungo bat. It's a tennis racket type thing that's strong enough to hit baseballs.
All right,
so,
just looked it up. Yeah, it looks like a little paddle ball.
So I think it was $15.
Paddle.
I think it was $15 on Amazon, and with a lot less effort now, I can hit hard balls to my shortstops and fly balls to my outfield.
Okay, I was thinking of things to improve your players' play. You're talking about things to improve your play as a coach.
This improves my
gotcha.
play. This improves that I am an old man, but it also improves because I don't have that embarrassing toss the ball, swing, and I miss it, or I hit it in the wrong direction.
Have you tried this out? Has it worked well?
Yes, love it. I've used it every practice so far. I love it.
All right.
Definitely recommend it. It's worth the $15. It's even worth a little bit more.
All right.
So that's the new addition. And then I got a bucket this year, a 6-gallon bucket to hold my balls instead of a bag. That was my other addition.
Oh yeah, I never returned my bucket from last year's Little League. So
okay, see, I had a soft bag, and I this year got a bucket. I will say, as far as gear, I got my catcher's gear on the first practice, and I left it at the ball field, and it's gone. My catcher's gear is gone. So I don't know how that's going to end up yet. My catchers have their own gear, so I don't even know why I need catcher's gear.
Does the league provide you with catcher's gear?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
But it's now gone, and unless it's in lost and found, and no one has told me it is, then it is gone, and I might have to replace some catcher's gear because
I don't even know. Do I need a catcher at coach pitch? We using catchers with gear?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think at coach pitch. I don't know. I avoided that age. I started later.
Yeah. Smart.
So.
All right.
But
Well,
I don't.
I'm raring to go, and
You say smart, but I'm also already counting down the years of like that Owen outgrows rec and now has like middle school and high school ball. And how do I transition? Like, because what do I do after that as a coach? Do I be the old man that's still coaching little kids, even though I don't have a kid in the league? Or do I transition to an assistant at some of these higher levels?
yeah.
Or do I just retire from coaching?
That's a good question. How are there coaches who coach without their kids?
I don't know. I don't know
I
any.
don't know either.
I don't know any, but I really like coaching. So it's not like I want to stop just because Owen grows up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something to figure out years from now.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, well, you got some years. How? I mean, because Little League runs through middle school, right? I don't know,
I think it goes through 12U.
through 12 year, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to play high school.
High school or travel or stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a lot of stuff to break down this year. We got to break down, and I haven't. You're the Orioles again, right? For Little League.
Oh yeah. Have you picked your team?
I hope I can pick. I haven't heard anything. Salas says if he's the Athletics again, he's not playing, and I'm with them. If we're the Athletics again, because we've been at Athletics every year so far.
Well, why don't you just message your commissioner and ask if you can be the Orioles?
I don't know.
What's wrong? Don't want to be that guy?
I don't want to be that guy. And like Salas already has Oriole hats. I already have an Oriole hat. I kind of want to get a different team's hat.
Oh, okay. All right.
I like playing fantasy. I like playing MLB The Show franchise mode with different teams.
All right. I can understand that. I assisted on the Padres.
Yeah, the Padres would be cool. I really take anyone but the Athletics at this point.
Yankees, Red Sox.
No, not playing the Yankees or Red Sox. Though I did play as a little leaguer on both those teams. I won't do it. I never played as an Oriole as a little leaguer. But I won't play as a Yankee or Red Sox or an Athletic. Those are three teams I won't do it. I won't coach.
All right. Well, good. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm going to throw my weight around if I need to, Josh. Don't worry.
They should let you pick. Mine lets me pick.
All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's a quick turnaround between draft and game, so I assume they've already picked out the teams and bought the jerseys and uniforms.
No, we pick our teams at the draft. Is when we have to officially pick our teams.
Okay. All right.
So
well,
you should be fine.
We have evaluation Saturday, and either Monday or Tuesday, they said we'll meet to pick our teams. So
yep, that's normal. That's how it goes.
All right. Well, shoot, if they ask me, I have to think about it.
I also found out softball starts for me March 5th.
Oh, really?
So
I haven't thought about softball. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. We got exciting times, spring training, and we got Little League. And at some point, Josh, we need to announce our book club book and
I
get that started.
Yeah.
Have you gotten your book yet?
No. Did we settle on a book? Because I was going to suggest another book to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we can still talk books. I mean, I think we're leaning towards the Brooks Robinson book, but we can. I'm open to other suggestions.
All right. Yeah, I got to look up the book. It's like baseball, the story of baseball told in 10 pitches or something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that book.
Yeah. Have you read that book yet?
No, but I think Derek Arnold was talking about it. I saw him on Twitter or Goodreads. I don't know where I see Derek anymore, but I saw him.
Okay, A History of Baseball in 10 Pitches by Tyler Kepner. So I was looking at that book as well. It's on Amazon.
All right. Well, I hope they have it in my local library. I requested the Brooks Robinson from my local library. It's headed my way.
All right, then I'll grab the Brooks Robinson book too. We could do the Brooks first.
All right.
I'll post on our Instagram this week the book club link and on Twitter as well, so people can check it out there. Get it.
All right. Sounds good. All right, boys and girls. Well, stay tuned for that book review. Stay tuned for all our spring training breakdowns. Some fun stories to follow this spring training, and some stories got a lot more interesting with all these pitching injuries. Some storylines, so that should be fun to watch, and we'll break it down for you each week here every Monday on Section 336. Josh, you have some new gear. You wanna plug some new Birdland gear?
Yeah. Plenty of new shirts over on birdlandsports.com. This week, we have the Friends style shirt on sale for the week. And it's simply the Friends font logo, but it says Birdland, and it looks pretty cool in black, gray, and white. So you can check that out. It's on sale for like 16 something this week to celebrate pitchers and catchers and everybody reporting, all our friends being back at Sarasota.
There you go. All right. Well, boys and girls, you can follow us on Twitter or X. You can follow me on X at Section336. You can follow Josh on X
At Josh Soroka and at Birdland Sports.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.